The Heritage Foundation is the most important think tank in the United States. It's the outsourced brain of the Republican Party. It's just a few blocks away from the U.S. Capitol next to Union Station. They have dorms there where they train young people to become Republican operatives, conservative operatives. Project 2025 came out of the Heritage Foundation, and there was Project Esther, a blueprint for criminalizing the Palestine Solidarity Movement in the United States. And it was published under the watch of the Heritage Foundation's National Anti-Semitism Task Force, which is basically a Zionist cutout, which is also kind of simultaneously supportive of a form of Christian nationalism. And so there's this conflict. The task force is headed up by the vice president of the Heritage Foundation, Victoria Coates, and she is at odds with the president, Kevin Roberts. And Roberts sort of represents more like the nationalist faction. So the audio you just heard.
As you know, for many Christians, Friday is a special day of prayer and abstinence to commemorate the death of Christ. I assume that no staff will be required to attend the Shabbat dinners, but my concern is that these dinners will be to serve as a sort of informal litmus test.
Was from an all-staff meeting that was off the record, and it was leaked. But here's one who's complaining because Victoria Coates, the head of this so-called anti-Semitism task force, invited all staff members to a Shabbat dinner on Friday. And as he said, it's an informal litmus test. Anyone who doesn't show up to the Shabbat dinner will be seen as an anti-Semite and become a potential target. And they have lost funders, just as Charlie Kirk was losing funders toward the end of his life because he was no longer following orders. The Heritage Foundation is now being threatened with the loss of major funders. So Kevin Roberts, who defended Tucker Carlson at this all-staff meeting that was not supposed to be revealed to the public, he walked back everything. He was apologizing. He was seated there in the hot seat, being treated to ritual humiliation. And he said that someone named Yoram Hazony is flying into DC to basically show him the way, an Israeli-American who is the sort of intellectual godfather of this national conservatism. And he's going to basically be his AIPAC handler now. So you can really see how impossible it is for the astroturfed, billionaire-backed, conservative so-called movement, which is really just a wing of the Republican Party, to actually embrace the feelings of the conservative youth in the grassroots about Israel and to even allow a debate. This is all going to dog JD Vance as he runs for president. With Zionists and the Zionist movement, you're either completely with them or you're completely against them. And if you try to chart a middle path, they will see you as an enemy. And JD Vance now has to decide.